Hello everyone, welcome back to Gnomoria. On the last episode we started to build our gatehouse, and hopefully in this episode we will be able to finish it. I apologize for the background noise, they're cutting the grass outside. Really big machines, so should only take a moment. So we were also down here digging for more copper, and looks like we've done pretty well with that. So let's dig this tunnel over, and we're just going to dig out the copper for now. All of this area should be protected because the torches, whether they're in line of sight of it or not, I don't believe that matters. I could be wrong, and then I'll find out really quick. When a skeleton pops on my unarmored gnomes and rips them to shreds. That would not be a good day. No. So this is coming together pretty well. We got the second gate, or second door down. Of course, they would just go around it right now. So, for all the good that it does, I suppose. We can also, well, let's let that go for now. We have a lot of people sleeping, I believe. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 gnomes. All asleep. As long as our hauler always has something to do. Cotton farm here. It's not really required. We have a lot of cotton. What are you doing? You're making coal? I'm gonna turn coal craft to 20. I wonder if that... Yeah, only crafts when the available amount and less than the specified amount. I don't want them to really just keep crafting coal forever, because we're digging up quite a bit of it right now, and we have other things that can be done. More important things. Wow, look at all these copper bars. We can't make any armor yet, but we can start putting some weapons together. And for that, we are going to need to build a weaponsmith. And we actually haven't even built the armorer yet either. So we're going to place the weaponsmith there. Give ourselves some more breathing room. The gatehouse is very nearly complete. I am liking this. I'm liking this a lot. In fact, I want to increase the size of this grove out to about here. And very slowly, we're going to start chopping away at the trees up here so that we can remove the ground and start squaring off our castle a little bit. Or our fortress, and start turning it into a more proper castle. And things are relatively safe outside right now. A bear was here not too long ago, but he's gone. Goblins were here, but we decapitated them. Or at least one of our gnomes punched them in the throat and crushed their throat. Or one of their throats. Very savage, but very necessary, because they attacked us. We were just here planting some trees and trying to raise some yaks, and they came at us. Excuse me one moment. Okay, sorry about that. Laura was going by again. This time I thought I would just blank it out. So after we get a good amount of these trees cut away, we can start. Let's see. Terrain, dig a hole. I'd really like to wait until these two here are done, so that I can just dig everything out in one line, and then the next line, and then the next line. You don't want to do any more than one line at a time when you're digging holes, or really when you're digging at all, anywhere. because these gnomes are not intelligent with their digging, and they will close themselves inside constantly and then starve to death, or most likely die of thirst. It's happened to me before, and it's a very sad way to lose a gnome, because at least when they die in battle, you know, there's the whole dying with a sword in your hand glory thing, but when you dig yourself into a hole that you can't get out of and die of thirst, I can't help but feel really bad for that. Especially because I could have done something to prevent that. Trees are almost done. Let's go check on everything else while he gets that done. Of course, the hauling's being done. Ah, wonderful. Now, I know this will get in the way of my digging, but I like to expose the coal if I can. Or the copper. Expose it and pull whatever else is in there. We're also going to continue on with this. Ooh, we're not going to dig into this little area here. That would be a bad idea. I'm going to leave that closed for now. There could be anything in there. We'll take away the coal along those lines as well. Busy work, busy work. Yeah, I figured that would happen. Our lumberjack is probably snoozing. Or eating. But while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to go ahead and make another axe. For cutting down trees. Not for cutting down goblins. Go ahead and speed things up. Everything's looking pretty good. Now, I'm not really sure how long we're going to keep on with this particular series, because this game has a lot of mods, and I'm really excited to try those out. But if the music starts getting a little monotone and annoying, we can always change it. There's two different musical settings. There's what it's currently selected on, and then we also have orchestral. Let's test that out a little bit. I'm not sure if it changes back when you reload the game, or if that's something that you have to redo every episode. I personally like the orchestral a little bit because the twings and twangs of the classical, it starts to get a little bit on my nerves. Sounds like my speakers are broken. Looks like we're going to be waiting a little bit for this to get done. And hopefully my mining jobs didn't mess that up. And yeah, well, it looks like he's just asleep. That's okay. You get some sleep, Cellfire. Ah, some more copper. Wonderful. I like copper. What is this? Tin. Oh, fantastic. I like tin too. I like tin and I like copper. And I like mixing them together to make bronze, which is apparently how you make bronze. At least in Gnomoria it is. Let's see. Dig a little bit out. Don't want to go too crazy with it. There's some more copper up here, of course. How are these trees doing? Are you still sleeping? Yeah, you're still sleeping. We need someone else to cut trees. Although cutting trees really isn't always a priority. We have people who, when they run out of materials, they'll go and get their own materials, basically. Because they're crafters, and then after that, they're lumberjacks and miners. But for now, they have plenty of materials. It is now fall, so hopefully today we will be getting some more gnomes. Hopefully. My value hasn't gone up that much, so they might decide not to give me one. Are you clipping a tree? I would really like if you would just go and cut these down. That would be preferred. But I suppose I can wait until my lumberjack is... Oh, my lumberjack is awake. Where are you? Oh, a yak is born. Fantastic. What kind of... Oh, and it was... Oh, okay. This is a memorable moment. Our first yak is being slaughtered because it was a male. And our yak farm is currently only allowing one male. So, we got a bone, finally. We also got a bunch of hide, but we got bones, and that's the most important thing. One of the most important things in this game, without any mods or anything, bones are a huge stopping point, because you need bone to make a tailor. Because you need a bone needle. That's it. They couldn't make a bone out of wood, or they couldn't make a needle out of wood or anything, or rock. No, they had to make it out of bone. Specifically bone, nothing else. And until you found a bone somewhere, that's it. So they will... Did I... Oh, I haven't not set up a bone carver, have I? Oh. Silly me. You also need a bone carver. That is under MISC, I believe. Yes, bone carver needs to be set up as well. I'd like to do it. Yeah, we'll just do it right there for now. Remove some wall here. I like to set up the bone carver right next to where the bones are, really. Right next to the butcher shop, butcher area. So that happened a little bit sooner than I was prepared for, obviously. It's more focused on getting these trees chopped down, which they cut down one, and then they must have gotten hungry or something. Thank you, you're coming out to finish the job. As soon as this last tree gets cut down, we can go ahead and remove some stuff. Oh, 4 nomads have arrived! Hurrah! Now, unfortunately, we don't have any names for these nomads, but we do have jobs. We have lots of jobs. We have jobs that need filled, like a woodcutter. I know I was just complaining about that. We also need more crafters, I believe. I want to set up 2 crafters. And the last one we'll do custom one. It seems to be a pretty good position. Since we took someone out to put him as a hauler, we now have another one. Ah, and you are doing that. So now we can dig the hole here. As soon as he's finished, of course. We don't want anybody digging out the ground from underneath him. Or all around him, which is even worse. Fantastic. So we'll dig out this line, and then once they're done with that, we'll go with the next line, and then the next line, until we have a straight line. And my brain can be happy. And then we have to work on the large section up here. And of course we can remove these ramps. They're not even leading to anything. And there should be no consequence of moving them or removing them as well. It shouldn't bother anybody. However, winter will be upon us very soon, and it would probably be a good idea. We have a lot of fruit trees just outside in the world, but it would probably be a good idea to either stockpile some food or get more food planted. And I think I'll go with the latter. We'll get another farm going for strawberries. And we're going to raise that priority up to 1. And what we're going to do with our other strawberry farm is drop it down to priority 4. So we're going to stockpile 174 strawberries in this farm, basically. And then once winter starts, you can still harvest things, but nothing will grow until spring. So an entire season, basically, of no growth at all. And you have to make it through. It's pretty easy the first winter. Honestly, you don't have a whole lot of animals. You don't have a whole lot of gnomes. There's not a whole lot of food going. So it's pretty easy to just get through with what's on the map. Unless you went and chopped down every bloody fruit tree on the map, you should be fine. Now, it's starting the second, third winter. You need to have enough trees planted in your own groves. Or you need to have enough strawberries, or you're going to be, your gnomes are going to start to starve. And that's never good. Of course, there's probably different ways of getting food, like getting the ambassadors for agricultural nations to come live with your gnomes and buy their food and just survive off of the food that you buy from merchants. That's one way to do it. I'm actually glad that you haven't been built yet, because I would like to build you. Let's see, that was a misc, the bone carver. I would like to build the bone carver next to here. Now, obviously, they've got other things to do that are more important than building that. But that's fine. They have to build the components for it, and that takes some time. All the while, well, we don't want to dig too much. Let's let this... I don't remember if there can be clay golems. I really don't remember. I feel silly for not being able to remember that. So why not? I'll set the priority up to 1. And it's already getting done. Fantastic. Of course, you're going to pick up the stuff down here first. And you come pick this. And I can dig this out. Fantastic. I'll probably be digging, one more after that. And then we'll be good on this side. We have our lumberjack also. Well, they're custom, that's why. That's why Cellfire's doing whatever you want. You're custom. Well, that's good. Prioritize. Do what I say. That's why I don't like to have too many jobs open at one time. Because you start to get too many jobs open at one time, they don't do what you're telling them, and you're like, oh, what are you doing? Then you start looking for gnomes who are sleeping, like them. We have 3 gnomes asleep in the middle of the day. Four. We don't really have too much visible. We have got one. We have one there. I'm gonna wait until we are done up here. Let's finish up here. We'll do this last one. And then I'm always uncomfortable doing anything around water. Twice I've had a gnome fall in the water and drown. They were probably both from training, but one of them I cannot be assured what it was. One time I had my training ground set relatively close to the lake, and one of my warriors, while melee fighting the other, fell into the water and subsequently drowned. The other time, I'm not sure exactly how they fell in the water. I came back from stepping away from the computer for a moment to one of my gnomes being dead. I don't know how he fell in the water, but open water just generally in this game makes me nervous. It's nice to look at, I'll give you that, but it just makes me nervous. So as soon as I can find the floor terrain, we are going to build some dirt. At depth of 0 to cover up to here. If we have any water of it open, it's going to be on the outside, and enemies can be, welcome to fall in there and drown. Although likely I'll probably put a fence or something over it. The water doesn't flow like it would nicely I don't know how to explain it, but water doesn't flow properly in this game. It'll flow about 10 or 15 tiles, and then it'll just disappear into thin air. And water doesn't really do that. Water will be absorbed into the ground, but not at the rate that it does in this game. Of course, now that we're building up all of this dirt flooring, we really need to get a wall placed as well. And we'll just match up the same there. They shouldn't even try to build those walls, honestly, until... oh, yikes. And then there's a ramp leading from the outside directly into my home. Specifically why I don't like to give a whole lot of jobs, because if you run into something like that, you can very quickly fix it. And what's nice about them removing this ramp is they're going to turn around and use that dirt right away to build. Right now they're just going to wherever the dirt's closest. A lot of people are doing this too. I'm happy to see that. I'm not happy to see you going over there. What are you doing? Yeah. Now you left your bloody pickaxe outside all the way over here. I do not approve of that. And you better not try to do that again. Everything looks okay. We didn't have anyone fall in the water yet. I was so nervous when I'm building around water and doing things around the water. I could get rid of it, but I want to have an underground farm, and the best way to do that is to drain the above ground lake into a nice area once you have it prepared. But we're pretty far away from having underground farms. And then I think without any mods, the only thing you can grow underground are mushrooms, which you can use to make tea or mushroom omelets, which make your gnomes very happy to eat. And quite a bit of food. I'm not really going to give too many more jobs until all of that building's done, but I will speed things up. It looks like nobody's leaping into the water to avoid the harsh trials of winter coming ahead. Although an awful lot of builders, you can tell, aren't very skilled at building, because it's taking them 5-6 times longer to build some of these things than it's taking other builders to build. Soon we can have a dedicated builder. Yes, I see the bear. Ignore him. Do not go after him. He will run away. You don't have to run away. You're pretty much good. That's why we need to get this built. Back up to 2 times speed, and I'm gonna have a drink of water. Alright, yeah, get the wall built where you can, and then build the floor. Don't give our enemies a way to come at us even more before closing up the other one. It's a little counterproductive because we have somebody hauling all the time. So every time somebody drops some dirt and goes to get a drink or get something to eat, the hauler comes running up here, grabs the dirt, and brings it back down to the stockpile. It's almost done, though. The pain. I'm only sacrificing all of my gnomes on this because to me this is a very important task to get done. No dilly-dally. Of course, if you guys build both of these walls before you build this corner, you won't be able to get to that corner. You silly sods. Yeah, there's a lot of micromanaging in this game, unfortunately. Although that can be looked at as a good thing. Sometimes it's not that much fun to have everyone just do everything for you. You have to pay attention to little details or your gnomes will kill themselves. Build themselves into a little wall. Oh, you're kidding me. He gave up halfway through. Tisk tisk, for shame. We are more or less sealed off now, though. Not as much to worry about. It's kind of fun watching them all come charging out like ants out of the hole in the ground. There we go. Finally finished. Thank you very much. Just as the bear comes walking around to the other side, and it looks like he's actually leaving the map. Yeah. Just as we're not able to see anymore. Fantastic. So we can slow the game down and check on the tailor situation. We actually have the tailor built. That is fantastic. Because I do have the blacksmith, or weaponsmith built, but I would like to build some armor. So we're going to go to build, workshop, metal, armor. Of course, there's quite a bit of materials there that they've got to make to get that together. So while they are doing that, let us make a proper shield. And before I go, I do have two types of materials, so I need to be a little bit more careful. I'm going to go and specifically tell them to make a shield boss and a shield backing out of specifically copper, and then I will tell them to make, after they make those, I will select the copper shield boss and backing out of there, just to make sure that they don't make one part out of tin and I have that part just sitting there wasting away, not doing me any good. But that'll have to do it for this episode, so I appreciate you watching and I hope to see you next time.